Camera! Action! Click! Hi! So, I want to talk to you today about the Bardos, which is the Tibetan word for transition state, which is what has led me into liminality from the get-go. I've been studying the Bardos for over 30 years. And liminality is a word I came to in order to describe Bardo states and Bardo dynamics without using the word Bardo, because the fact is that's a word that has no reference or familiarity to anyone in this culture. So I used the word transition for many, many years to describe the word Bardo. But what a Bardo is when we are between. When we are not here or there, we are in a Bardo. The irony or the beauty of this is that we are always in a Bardo. Because even when we are here moving towards another there. Let me give you an example. We are in our house. When we are in our house, we move from room to room. Each room is its own space. Nobody stays in any one room forever. You always are moving from room to room. The hallways and the doorways are an example of the Bardo spaces where we are between. The Bardo, there are 6 Bardos in Tibetan teachings. Bardo of life, Bardo of dying, Bardo of death, a Bardo of becoming, which is rebirth when we enter a womb and are becoming again, the Bardo of dreams, and the Bardo of trance states or meditation states, which is in many ways the most important Bardo because that's the one that is the most accessible to us. It's the one that we use to navigate the other 5 Bardos. Without the Bardo of trance state, in the Bardo of death, you don't have much choice because you haven't developed the ability to hold your awareness in one place for a length of time in the middle of a storm, which is what meditation training is all about. In the Bardo of death, which is the in-between before we're in a womb, I'm not going to talk about that in this particular talk. I'm going to focus more on the nature of Bardos, how we experience them here and now in this state. So we will focus on the Bardo of life, the Bardo of dreams, and the Bardo of trance state. The Bardo of trance state is a concentrated state of awareness where we are no longer holding on to a past state or directed specifically towards a future state, but are allowing ourselves to stay completely present in what is happening. That is a state very similar to surfing. Ironically, it's a state we're in when we're walking, but we take that for granted. But walking with mindfulness is how to recognize the Bardo of walking. You walk with mindfulness is to let go of your idea of where you're going, stand up a little straighter, bring your awareness into your body, take a deep breath, and take each step. For each step, not for where the step is going. Oftentimes when we're walking very fast, very forward, and that's how we miss that we are actually in this Bardo space. By standing straight, being aware, it allows us to enter into the fluidity and the openness of the stream of our being, which is always going towards something. We are always in a state of becoming. And that's the main message of what a Bardo is that we are never one thing. We are always becoming something more. Or should I say, potentially something more. Because Bardo states, the nature of them is their fluidity could go one way or another. You never really know. It depends on your reaction, how you respond to the space. That will determine how you experience the space, and it will determine on where the space goes. This is our greatest power, is in our power of response. Reaction, sometimes you have to react, but response is contemplated reaction. Response is, you could say, non-reactive reaction, because if we react out of fear, we often complicate the situation. If we react from a responsive place, a place of awareness and presence, then we will not complicate anything. And oftentimes our response will be much more poignant. The nature of these Bardo spaces is we go from, say, waking into sleeping. It is this moment of almost like everything coming together and also a gentle falling away. So it's both a union and a dispersion, because outer and inner are coming together. And in this coming together, if we maintain presence, we can have great realizations. In the Book of the Dead, which is the book that teaches about Bardos, it talks about this as the clear light state, which is the Buddha nature, the nature of all being, the nature of our mind, this clear light awareness of infinites. And if you recognize it, you attain awakening. Most of us pass through it every night, unawarely. Our world of life closes and we enter the world of dreams. And we create this world. And this world comes and goes. All these events happen, but in reality, nothing happens. In reality, all the events of the dream are in our mind. And that mix of everything happening, all these events, and nothing is happening, is the essence of Bardo teachings. It's the essence of liminal understanding. To understand that all the events of the world, stars, galaxies, come and go. But the space that all these things are coming and going in, that never changes. And that space is not just outside and empty. That space is inside us and full. But only we can recognize it. Nobody can recognize it for us, and believing in it does no good. Believing in it's just an idea. It's a beautiful idea, but only the experience can transform your mind. Only the experience. And when can you have the experience? This moment, right now. This moment is when the experience exists, and only this moment. Only this moment. But the beauty is, this moment never ends. Never. It was never created. It will never end. Everything comes and goes through it, but the moment never comes or goes. So remember, take a deep breath, recognize the nature of the fluidity of things, and recognize as we move through these transitions. And we will talk much more about the Bardo. We've just scratched the surface about the Bardo. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to like us and subscribe. Hit the bell icon to be notified for when we post new videos. We would really love to hear your comments and suggestions. We love questions. We'll be happy to answer any of the questions you ask and go more in depth on them. We're exploring a number of very deep topics, so please ask. We'll talk to you soon.